Hey folks, it's Tuesday morning. Welcome to episode 4 of the Marcus Smart. I'm the Marcus Smart, Brent Dunstall. Today we got some news updates and our first Raw review. So we'll get going. We got a lot to cover today. Let's just jump into it. A story we've been covering that broke this weekend. Jerry Lawler, who's been suspended indefinitely from WWE because of some domestic violence issues happening there, domestic dispute. One thing over the weekend, and since the story broke, I keep referring to the other person as Jerry Lawler's spouse, and it's actually his fiance. And the one thing we do know today is that the next date is set for July 1st. So that's the next date for court. Definitely, I can't imagine we're going to see anything change with Jerry Lawler's suspension until after this issue is settled with the courts. So, we're not going to hear a peep until at least July 1st. And the way the court system works, that probably won't be the end of it. So that's where we are with Jerry Lawler. Another story we've been covering since Money in the Bank, the Alberto Del Rio injury. We do know that he went to the hospital and he had his knee examined, but we don't know what was said. We didn't see him on Raw last night. WWE hasn't made a statement. No idea what's going on with the injury, but he did have the knee examined. We didn't see him last night, but apparently he was at Raw. And then another injury we've been following is the Candice LeRae injury. Last we heard she'd taken off, left hospital, so forget this. The wait was too ridiculous. She ended up flying home and going to the hospital back home. What we do know is she broke her nose. She does have like a hole in her lip, and that they're waiting for results for dental work. Holy crap! This was a hurricane run gone very, very wrong. She did mention on her Twitter that this was going to be a tough recovery for her. So it does sound like she's expecting to be out for some amount of time, which is sad for me because she's scheduled to be at Shikara versus Smash in July, which I'll be at. So hopefully she can be there. And just a note, I haven't mentioned it yet because this is probably the least important fact about Candice LeRae, the wrestler, but she is the significant other of Johnny Gargano. Just to place her in the wrestling world for you, Johnny Gargano being Smash Wrestling Champion, and also a standout in NXT by himself and also with his partner Tommaso Ciampa. So that kind of places her in the wrestling scene for you. And yeah, so hopefully Candice will be better by the time Smash vs. Shikara rolls around. We'll have to wait and see. Well, I'll have to wait and see because I'm the one that's going to be there. After Raw went off the air last night, I put this in the news, but now I'm thinking, let's wait for after Raw, so we'll do that after our Raw review. Another thing to note, Connor, who's being suspended for wellness policy violations, he's back. He's served his suspension, and that means we're going to see Ascension again on WWE programming. I don't assume a major role for them anytime soon, considering where they were at before, and now Cody is gone. Who knows what they're going to do with these guys. Hopefully with the brand split coming up, something can be done. Like, this is the longest reigning NXT Tag Team Champions, and they've come up to the main roster and gone like... So hopefully Victor and Connor can figure something out, get their mojo back, and kind of move forward there. In TNA news, some TNA news finally. Chelsea Green, who was on a season of Tough Enough and was trained by Lance Storm, who's an awesome guy. Apparently one of the best training facilities you can go to, so that's good. So Chelsea Green signed with TNA. We'll see where that goes. I'm not super familiar with her, so there you go. Some of the returns we've talked about. We've talked about Randy Orton coming back, and we haven't talked about The Miz because he's not really an injury. He's out filming. But Randy Orton looks like he's going to be back in late August, so we might not even see him for the brand extension. He may actually get drafted in the brand extension though, but he may not be actively wrestling at that time. And then The Miz, he should be back to active duty by the end of the weekend. So we should see The Miz back, which is great because he's the IC champ. We need the belt back. I definitely missed having an IC title match at Money in the Bank. So it'll be good to see that title coming back and The Miz doing some stuff with that. And then lastly for our news, the Cruiserweight Classic, the word is that it's going to be 205 pounds and under for the 32 guys who are wrestling in it, and that it's going to be strictly enforced. And if you can't make the cut, they're going to have other guys ready to take your spot. They're going to run this like a sport-like event. If you haven't heard anything about the Cruiserweight Classic 32-man tournament, it's getting underway, I believe, this week, tapings, and we're going to see this on the network in July. This is definitely like a really revolutionary product for WWE to be putting on, this kind of tournament with all these non-WWE signed talent. I'm very, very excited to see where this is going to go. So that should be very exciting. So that's the end of our news update for today. And then we're going to go right into the Raw review. So we open up Raw last night with a view of the street and a cab pulling up. And we get Dean Ambrose coming out there doing a little gag where he forgets the belt in the cab and he's got to go back for it. And then we get our normal Raw opening, fireworks, boom, boom, bing, bang, bang, bang. On commentary for Raw, we have Michael Cole, JBL, and Byron Saxton. We have JoJo and Renee Young doing backstage interviews, and Shane O'Mac as the acting GM for the night. As we open up Raw, we notice something right away about the stage. And there's two podiums on the stage, a Raw and a SmackDown. We already talked about it yesterday in our news update. July 19th was announced as the date for the draft, for the brand extension, and that the podiums are just there to kind of promote that, so that, you know, we may be seeing those podiums right up until the brand extension. But they went ahead and announced that. Just from the commentary table, Michael Cole announced that. They put up the graphic for the date and everything. So that's why we had that there. And then show starts. We got Ambrose coming down. Big pop for Ambrose. He's going to go cut a promo in the ring. Big "You Deserve It" chant from the fans. Now this is interesting. So I was reading online about like an internet backlash to Dean Ambrose winning the title, and which I'm just like, what? A backlash? An internet backlash to Dean Ambrose winning the title? And so I had to read this, so I went and read this article. And it included snippets of letters people had written angry about Dean Ambrose, and he's a cruiserweight, and why is he winning the title, and this is unrealistic for him to be fighting these big awesome guys, and these little guys shouldn't be winning the title, and they're destroying wrestling, and what is this saying about wrestling? You can be some like weakling loser and not work out and still be champion. Like, what? I don't get any of this. So very interesting to see that those people are in the minority, because last night it was definitely "You Deserve It" for Dean Ambrose. So definitely the WWE Universe is good with Dean Ambrose as champion, and I'm good with Dean Ambrose as champion. So I don't know about this internet backlash, but there you go. So Dean Ambrose cuts a promo in Vegas. Cuts a really cool like kind of promo of all the different things that happened in Vegas, and he can't remember, but he thinks he won a title. It was a nice little witty promo. We get Roman cutting the promo off. His music hits. Huge boos for Roman as soon as his music hits. Before he's even out, he is getting booed down. Massive, loud and clear "You Can't Wrestle" chant, which we already addressed in episode 3 yesterday. Can't stand that chant, and directed at Roman Reigns. Definitely don't understand it. Ridiculous. There's so many other things you can chant. You don't like the guy, that's fine, but don't lie, because WWE Universe, you're freaking lying, because we know Roman Reigns can wrestle. So, yeah. Ridiculous. So, Roman Reigns comes out, breaks that up. Before he gets too far, we get Seth Rollins music hitting. He comes out, gets a nice pop from the audience. So, our face comes out and he gets booed down. Our heel comes out and he gets a nice pop. Yeah, this is the way things are going in WWE right now. WTF WWE. So those 6 letters, I think, will get used a lot on this program. WTF WWE. So so we get Seth Rollins coming out. Both want rematches because both lost the title last night. Shane O'Mac's music hits. He comes out and makes the match for tonight. So our main event for Raw tonight is going to be Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. Rematch from last night. Winner moves on to Battleground to face Dean Ambrose for the title. There you have it. That's like our first segment, and then second segment we go to an actual match: Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. Owens comes out like just selling a limp from Money in the Bank all the way down the ramp, like dragging his butt down there. Match is really, really good. Sami Zayn hits like his usual crazy spots, like his moonsault on the outside and his like flying plancha thing to the outside. Like Sami Zayn's doing all his usual stuff. Excellent. Kevin Owens nailing some beautiful freaking super kicks during that match. Like that dude just nails super kicks so hard it makes my face hurt. So definitely a great match. In the end, like 2 seconds after like a beautiful super kick, Sami Zayn gets a roll-up win on Kevin Owens, a little scrappy, grab him and roll him up. And Sami Zayn actually gets the win on that match. After the match, so Sami Zayn's leaving, celebrating on the rampway. And then we actually get Kevin Owens attacking him on the ramp. And Zayn fights back, and they go for a bit. All the officials come out, try to break him up. We go to commercial, we come back, and then they're in the back room, and they're still fighting, and they're still trying to break him up. And, the announcers are going, well, this is definitely not over then. They were trying to settle things for Money in the Bank, but clearly things are not over. Yeah, clearly things are not over. This feud has got a lot of mileage left on it. WWE, you better just be getting started with this, because I want to see more Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. This feud can go places, so heck yeah, it's just getting started. So that's Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. After that, we get a segment where we get John Laurinaitis come out, former GM of both Raw and SmackDown. Same kind of shtick we got last week with Teddy Long, and he kind of coming out and he's hyping the network, he's hyping the brand extension. Shane O'Mac's music hits, he comes out and he's like, says, John Laurinaitis is not going to be the GM of SmackDown. Like, thanks for the 411 on that one, Shane. I think we were all clear on that from the beginning of this segment. But Shane tells us it's because he's going to be running SmackDown. So this is the first time we hear anybody saying who is going to be running the show. So Shane is now claiming he's going to be running SmackDown. So that's interesting. We'll see where that goes. All right, folks, welcome back from technical difficulties. This is becoming a regular segment on this show. I've actually just finished doing this show and realized I don't have the last half of it. So here we go. We're going to do it again. We're going to pick right back up from where we left. Shane O'Mac saying that he is going to be the general manager of SmackDown. And John Laurinaitis is not. And then we get John Laurinaitis running around doing this little thing. I don't know, this goofy Benny Hill kind of sketch stuff that's going on with these GMs that when they're coming in. Enzo and Cass's music hits. Thank goodness. Putting a knife in this segment, finally, killing it. Enzo and Cass come out. Laurinaitis hits the bricks. And actually, Shane stays around, and you get Enzo and Shane doing like a little shuffle together, running back and forth on the stage, doing a little interaction. A little nice touch there. Afterwards, for some absolutely unknown reason, Enzo and Cass, instead of cutting a promo on the people they're about to face in the ring, cut a promo on John Laurinaitis. So that interesting, funny. It was actually a decent promo, but it was on John Laurinaitis. In the ring, they go in to face the Vaudevillains, which this was a really disappointing match for me. Both these teams of Vaudevillains and Enzo and Cass looked great last night in the Fatal 4-Way. And so for me, this match had like no fanfare, no pomp, no nothing. Just like, you know, commentators didn't make a big deal of it. Here's like two teams that were just facing for the title last night in one of the best matches of the night. And they didn't get a lot of time to work it. There was no build up to it. Enzo and Cass didn't even cut a promo on it. Enzo and Cass end up going over Vaudevillains. And man, it just feels like all the heat that Vaudevillains took off that pay-per-view just kind of got buried on Raw. So yeah, there you go. So that's that match. One thing from that match, the one thing we did find out in that match is the name of Enzo and Cass's finisher is actually going to be changing. So before, they used to call the move the rocket launcher because, well, that's what it was. It was a rocket launcher. Well, the way Enzo and Cass actually do it, it's not really much of a rocket launcher because Cass doesn't ever launch Enzo. He just kind of like swats him down. It's like a swat Enzo down. I don't know. It makes the move much more devastating, definitely. So if you want to see awesome rocket launchers, check out Midnight Express on the WWE Network. Beautiful Bobby Eaton. I love you, beautiful Bobby. Anyways, no more rocket launcher. They're not going to call it that. They're going to call it the, and I want to get this correct here, the new finisher for Enzo and Cass is the Bada Boom Shakalaka. That's right. The Bada Boom Shakalaka. And unless you're going to have like Booker T there to like announce your finisher every single night, you shouldn't call it Bada Boom Shakalaka. That is ridiculous. It's not the Bada Boom Shakalaka. WTF WWE. It's the rocket launcher. This is it. I'm saying it one more time. Bada Boom Shakalaka. And I refuse. I will never call it that again. That's ridiculous. All right. Moving on from that match. AJ Styles comes out after that next segment. AJ Styles comes out. Huge pop for AJ. Which, you know, here's our second heel of the night coming out. We already had Seth earlier getting the pop. Now AJ comes out, gets the pop. You know, we just had a WTF, but WTF WWE. What's going on with the booking when all your heels are getting pops and all your faces are getting booed out of the building? It's a bit odd. Anyways, he calls out Gallows and Anderson. He's upset that they ruined his match last night. He wanted to go over John Cena clean. He's been dreaming about this match. These guys ruined it and they owe him an apology. So calls him out to get the apology. I was unsure where they're going with this when it started, but it's just great. Like, he calls him out and he gets this like it's this whole tongue-in-cheek thing, and they give him this apology. Like, he's, you know, look me in the eye and give me an apology. They both personally apologize to him. And then he's like, we should call out, you know, John Cena because he's the guy that was really hurt by this. They call out John to apologize to John. John ends up cutting an awesome promo on, by the way, John Cena getting booed again because another face getting booed. But John Cena cuts an awesome promo on AJ Styles and the fans get right back into it. Because you know what? When John Cena does what John Cena does, everybody remembers why John Cena is where John Cena is. Because honestly, the dude is freaking killer. And especially on that mic, it's hard to compete with a guy like that. So, and here's the awesome thing. A lot of people said, you know, AJ is going to come into the WWE, but we don't think he can make it because AJ can't cut it on the mic. And WWE is more than just in-ring work. And AJ's not cut out for it. Well, last night, this segment was great. AJ was great. I thought it was so funny with the apologies and the way he played it off. It was excellent. The promo by John Cena, he's holding his own with John Cena. Like, I don't think there's any problem with AJ on the mic. Loving this. And then we get a match made by AJ again, like really brilliant piece where he's like, you can take on any member of the club except like me, obviously, because well, I didn't do anything. I didn't interfere in your match last night. These two guys did. Why would you want to face me? And besides, I already beat you last night. So why would we face again? But just such the delivery of it, so brilliant, so funny. I loved it. Anyways, we get this match coming out of it. Carl Anderson versus John Cena, one-on-one, mano-a-mano, no outside interference. The club is sent to the back. They're not going to interfere in the match. You know, the match barely begins, and the club comes out and interferes, and it's just a total schmoz. And they beat down John Cena, give him the Styles Clash, and kind of match over. So, and John Cena, if it's worth anything, wins by disqualification. And that's your match. We get Rollins backstage promo for the main event with Roman Reigns. From there, not much to say there. From there, we jump to a backstage promo with Becky. She gets jumped behind from Natalya, and we get kind of a continuing feud from there. Natalya says, I'm going to look out for my own from now, or I'm going to look out for myself from now on, which is great. I'm glad to see Natalya breaking off, becoming a heel. I think she'll do good as this character. We don't need everybody to be a face, you know, so let's get another interesting female character in there. I like it. From that backstage segment, we skip back to the ring, and we get Baron Corbin versus Zack Ryder. I think Zack Ryder looks great in this match, but obvious to me, he loses because he's got it. Like, Baron Corbin's got to keep this momentum up. The End of Days, by the way, just beautiful looking move, man. Some people don't like Baron Corbin, but every time he hits that End of Days, you're like, whoa, that move just looks so deadly. I love that move. I don't know what this is for Baron Corbin. Obviously, it's a win, so that's good. He's keeping his momentum. I don't think he's going to go into a program with Zack Ryder. That doesn't make any sense. So this may just be a filler match. We'll see where Baron Corbin goes, because we still got a lot of time before the brand split. So he's got to go into some sort of feud. From that match, we go to a pre-tape package from WWE's trip to China, and we go over some of that. Some of you may know, you may have read, it was announced like a while ago, like last week sometime, WWE signed their first Chinese national to a WWE developmental contract, and that was Bin Wang, and he was signed to a contract. And also we got to see John Cena talking Mandarin, which if you haven't watched Total Divas, you may not know that. If you do watch Total Divas, you'll have seen him already talking to Nikki and teaching her and doing all that stuff. So we get that segment. That's really cool. China's a huge market for WWE. They've been trying to break into that market for a while now. There's a huge step for WWE. They signed a major partnership. This is a big market for WWE. This is going to be interesting where this goes, especially with WWE having more international focus, especially with this the Cruiserweight Classic 32-man tournament with a lot of international stars there. Very interesting to see how this all unfolds. After that, we get a Wyatt family package, because Wyatt family is going to be back tonight. Great to see them coming back. They're an excellent stable, and they're going to hopefully get some great storylines. They're going to be great for the brand extension, so glad they're coming back. I love their segments. Sometimes they can, go a little long, but this one was good. Kept it concise. We then get a Paige backstage promo, interrupted by Charlotte and Dana. This is hyping their women's title match, which is actually next. So we get the women's title match next between Charlotte and Paige for the championship. One thing I will say during this match, there is a just freaking beautiful moonsault by Charlotte. It's like so much rotation. She could have gone like a half a rotation more and landed that as a senton. Like, just freaking awesome moonsault by Charlotte. I want to see more stuff like that from Charlotte. Well, she's been great, but that moonsault was awesome. Anyways, at the end of that match, we get a total botched finish by Dana Brooke. All she's got to do is take, Charlotte's getting pinned by Paige, and Dana's job is just to take Charlotte's foot and put it onto that bottom rope for the rope break. Now, she actually doesn't have to put that foot on that rope for a rope break. She can just put it under the rope. She just has to pull it towards the rope. You don't have to touch the rope for a rope break. It's just got to break the plane. But Dana Brooke has got it in her mind. She's going to get this foot on this bottom rope. But that bottom rope has other plans, Dana. It has other plans. And she cannot get this foot on this rope. It looks totally botched. The referee tries to help it out a little bit, but the whole thing just looks totally messed up. Anyways, Charlotte uses a distraction, reversal of fortunes on Paige, reverses the fortune on Paige, and gets the win. But it was just what a botch. After that, Sasha Banks music hits, and we get the return of the boss, Sasha Banks. So excellent, super excited about that. She comes out, Dana tries to jump her, takes out Dana, gets in the ring, starts to tussle with Charlotte. We get Dana jump back in, we get Paige jump back in, ruckus, clear the ring. Paige and Sasha are left standing in the middle of the ring. Sasha with the women's title belt, and Paige raising her hand. So, just want to talk about like this in general, like in the women's division. What is going on in the women's division in WWE? We were supposed to have a revolution of the Divas division. It didn't seem to work out. Then we had just a destruction of the Divas division and the creation of the women's division, which I don't feel like I got that women's division yet. We got the title belt, but not really the division. But just having like the why was this even a title match? This is what I want to know. Why was this even a title match? How did this happen? Right? Because there was some non-title match last week on Raw that Paige won, which was just a schmoz win to set up for, it was the go home for Money in the Bank, and it was just to set up the distraction on the outside by Natalya and the screw up by Dana, and it's just setting up the Natalya match. And then this match tonight is a championship match, but it's essentially just a schmoz match anyways, because Paige is just out there so Sasha Banks can come out at the end. So Paige, who's the youngest Divas champion ever, and first NXT Women's Champion ever, in 2 weeks back-to-back, was used just to put over somebody else's pay-per-view match, and then was used just to put over somebody else's return. Not looking so great for Paige. Also, why does everybody in the Divas division or women's division have to be friends? Why do all the heels have to be friends and all the faces have to be friends? And we got Paige, who kind of broke off for a while, but now she's back in this kind of friendship thing. Like, Zack Ryder doesn't hang out with John Cena. Like, why can't, the male superstars can have their own storylines and lives away from the other male performers? Why can't the female performers? Why do they gotta be all botched together? And I think I know the answer. I think it's just simply a time thing and getting as many people in the matches and getting people in front of the camera with limited time. But it's just odd to me. They're always friends. It doesn't, I like that Natalya's now broken off, and please don't let her become friends with another heel in the Divas division. Just let her be her own heel. Like, gosh. Also, storylines. There's no storylines to any of this. We just get the title match for Paige with no storyline, no build-up. Just, hey, here's a title match. Oh, you want some non-title match? Now you get a title match. Not at a pay-per-view, not anything, no build-up, just on Raw. Where's the storyline? Also, with the heel and face turns, like Paige was heel, Paige was face, Paige was heel. I don't know what's going on. Sasha Banks was heel, now she's face. I don't know. Where's the motivation? Where's the storyline behind the heel turns? We got one for Natalya. They actually said, hey, here's a storyline and Natalya's turning heel. So that worked. And the rest just kind of flip-flop however they feel like doing and don't explain anything to us. So that's the women's match. That's my cut my promo on the WWE Women's Division. We get a Wyatt teaser, go to commercial, come back. Bray Wyatt, the Wyatt family comes down. Bray Wyatt cuts a promo in the ring. New Day comes out, interrupts Bray Wyatt, and they start to just cut promos on each other, and it's obviously leading to somewhere for these two factions, but it didn't lead anywhere tonight. But that's interesting. We got New Day and the Wyatts maybe building towards something, so something to look forward to, because both excellent factions and could do awesome stuff. Not sure who's the face and who's the heel in that, but we'll see. Definitely New Day is my face, but we'll see where that goes. Face and heel don't mean much right now in the WWE universe anyways. After that, we go to a Darren Young promo, more of the Make Darren Young Great Again with Bob Backlund, which don't know how other people feel about it. Personally, I think Bob Backlund's hilarious. Love Bob Backlund. I have no idea where this segment's going. I think Darren Young's playing this really good. I think the way he's playing the character and interacting with Bob Backlund, I kind of dig it. I just don't know how this translates into Darren Young getting back into the ring and being a character in the ring and wrestling and what this means for his character. You know, if Bob Backlund's going to come out to ring with him every time, I'm definitely for this. That's awesome, but I don't think that's what we're going to see. We'll have to see how it translates. After that, we get Titus O'Neil doing a backstage promo, kind of a promo on Rusev, which I forgot to mention, but after the match last night of the pay-per-view, on Father's Day, Rusev got out of the ring, Titus O'Neil's kids were there, and cuts a mini promo calling Titus a loser in front of his kids, basically, and Titus is now cutting his promo back, saying, you know, don't mess with me, and definitely don't mess with my family. And he comes out he's got a rematch from the pay-per-view from last night, and he comes out and he just goes right into Rusev. Before the bell even rings, he's throwing Rusev into the barricade, you know, clothesline over the top of the barricade into the fans, and Rusev's like, forget this, I'm out of here, and he takes off. It wasn't a count out as far as I know. As far as I know, bell didn't even ring, there was no match. But really cool booking for Titus O'Neil. I was just saying, like, I don't know, I'm not feeling the Titus O'Neil character, and then tonight, man, I felt it. This is a big dude, and I liked every time he got like the hot tag with him and Darren Young when they were tagging together. That dude could get a hot tag. He came in and he lit things up, and that's what we saw tonight. He came into this ring and he lit Rusev up with that energy, and I liked it. These are two big guys that could have really good matches and get a good storylines going. So this could be interesting booking. Really something to look forward to there. After that, we get the Miz report. Nothing much to say about that. Maurice is there. He's on set at his movie with his IC title. We learned that's going to be done soon, and he's going to be back. Great. I welcome that. Get the Miz back. Get the title back into the picture. I missed it at the pay-per-view, so that'll be great. Jericho and Shane are in a backstage segment back in Shane's office. This is really Shane's segment. It's because it does nothing for Jericho at all. He's complaining about, Dean Ambrose being the champion. He's crazy and he shouldn't be the champion. And he put 69 tacks in him. And then we got this ongoing 69 gag. Like yesterday at the pay-per-view, they were like, 69, 69. They're yelling it. I don't know if they're just trying to make each other laugh. But it's going on about the 69 tacks again. And he says he wants a title shot because Dean Ambrose shouldn't be the champion and represent WWE. Cuts a promo on Shane. And Shane basically says, you better get used to living with me because I'm going to be running both shows. So now this is the second time we've had someone claim responsibility for the shows, other than like lunatics like Teddy Long and John Laurinaitis. This is the second time we've had someone seriously claim to say, I'm going to be running the shows. And it's... Both times it was Shane. SmackDown we found out earlier, and now he's saying he's running both shows. This is clearly, obviously, not what's happening. This is obviously the heat that he's going to be getting with Stephanie. This is where the storyline's going to build, and the tension's going to come in, and we're going to see what's actually going to happen. But that's that. After that, we see Ambrose come down to ringside and join the commentary team for the main event to see who he's going to face at Battleground. Roman comes out and... first of all, this is a Mania quality main event. I just wanted to make sure you all knew that because WWE wanted to make sure I definitely knew that. We got told that before Money in the Bank, and we were definitely reminded about it again last night. This whole thing is like really weird. It's like WWE's upset that Seth Rollins and Reigns weren't at Mania this year because they should have been. That should have probably been the Mania match, and that's probably what they were building to. And now they got to give it away after building to it for a whole year, and it's almost like they're upset and they're like, hey, okay, we're going to give it to you, but we really want you to realize you were so lucky for getting this. You totally should not be getting this match. Just you are going to get it, but just realize how lucky you are that you're going to get to see this Mania quality match, because we're going to give it to you, and it's not even Mania. Just make sure you feel lucky. So I'm not sure if that's the message they're trying to send. It's really weird, but that's the message they're sending to me, that I should just be grateful that I get to see this. So that's weird. Hopefully that stops, because we've seen this. I don't want it to be become like this is the best Monday Nitro ever, and we're like 32 weeks in a row. So no more Mania quality matches. We that's already run its course. That we don't want to hear that saying anymore. So in the match, Roman's still getting tons of heat. Another "You Can't Wrestle" chant, which we already talked about. Boo WWE Universe for that, like totally boo. Totally back and forth match, great match. And you know, once the match really gets going, you can hear the support for both guys, Rollins and Reigns. Like when Reigns is wrestling, the fans are behind him. When he's doing what he's doing, the fans are behind him because you know what? He's probably not the reason. Roman Reigns is probably not the reason why most people don't like Roman Reigns. You know, there are certain reasons why people don't, and it's probably not actually his fault. So, well, he's definitely contributed. You know, everybody's got their role to play in it, but his wrestling, I don't think, is to blame. So, anyways, back and forth. To end the match, we actually get a spear from Roman onto Seth, onto the Spanish announce table, and we get a schmoz double count out with Shane coming out to interrupt. We've seen a lot of this lately. This is like a segment they've been using with the schmoz, and then the Shane coming out to restart, or Stephanie coming out to restart. It's no problem, but maybe someone on creative should take note of that and be like, yeah, we've done this with the same schmoz gimmick every week for 4 weeks in a row. We should not do it this week. I don't know. But we get another one of those. Shane comes out. You know, obviously we need a number one contender. He's obviously going to solve this problem, maybe restart the match. Ambrose actually interrupts him and says, we don't need to think about this anymore because I'll take on both these guys in the same night, kind of a la Seth Rollins at SummerSlam last year. Shane says, I'll do you one better, Dean Ambrose, and I'll just make it a triple threat for Backlash. So there you have it. That is our main event for Backlash. It's locked in. It's going to be The Shield Collides. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose for the WWE title at Backlash in a triple threat. Lots of potential there. Backlash, only one match announced. So far, looking pretty good. After that announcement, we get Ambrose hitting the dirty deeds on Roman Reigns, actually. So he turns on Roman Reigns and gets a little physical with Roman, his buddy. Hits the dirty deeds on him. And then we get Michael Cole, just classic, just beautiful, from the announce table, shouting out, "Pedigree!" No, Michael Cole. No, that was not a pedigree. That was the dirty deeds. But you get marks for commitment, because boy, you were committed to that. You weren't like, pedigree? No, I mean the dirty deed. No, you were like, pedigree! Oh, just hilarious, Michael Cole. Seconds later, we get another dirty deeds on Seth Rollins. And the best part of that for me is Michael Cole doesn't even dare call the dirty deeds the second time. He's just like, welcome to the Ambrose Asylum. Doesn't even dare say it after that crazy pedigree call by Michael Cole. Hilarious. And then after that, Ambrose celebrates and Raw goes off the air. So that's your episode of Monday Night Raw. That's my review. Just my general overalls. My win of the night was Titus O'Neil, who didn't actually win anything, didn't even get a match started, but big win for him for coming out, getting booked strong against Rusev. I think this does a lot for his character. I wasn't feeling so hot about it a couple days ago. Now I'm feeling better about it, so that's a big win for Titus. Upset of the night, Kevin Owens losing to Sami Zayn. Don't care how much you like Sami Zayn when Kevin Owens loses. For me, that's an upset. Like, this is one of your top heels, and you don't have a lot of top heels right now. So if your top heel loses clean on Monday Night Raw, and his name is Kevin Owens, that's always going to be an upset in my books. Shock of the night, the boss is back, Sasha Banks, and what a welcome return it is. Thank goodness. We need an injection into the women's division. Hopefully Sasha Banks is that injection we need. Hopefully we get a little bit more and we can get a real flushed out women's division. Maybe they'll get more time when we get the brand split. That would be nice. I would like that. Let's see if that happens. And then match of the night, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. Could have gone Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. They worked a good match, but the schmoz ending for me doesn't do as much as the clean ending on the Zayn Owens match. So for me, Zayn Owens, they worked a great match, good spots in it. So that's the match of the night. For me, this overall show was a definite watch. So if you haven't seen before, anything I review, it's either going to be skip it, watch it, or oh my God, you cannot miss it. Tonight's episode of Raw, not an oh my God, but definitely a watch. Lots of good stuff in there. So this is episode 4, and I want to get you the details because I got my social needs on point now. So you can subscribe to my YouTube channel at The Marcus Smart. Please do. If you're watching this video, please subscribe. It means a lot to me. You can follow me on Facebook at The Marcus Smart. You can follow me on Twitter and Periscope at Marcus Smart. You can follow me on Instagram at Marcus_Smart or Snapchat at one word Marcus Smart. Or you can email me at one word marcussmart@thedunstalls.com. Just a warning, a few of those things I just talked about, I don't even know what the heck they are. But yes, the accounts are real. I'm on there. I don't even know what these things do. Help. I don't know. See you tomorrow for episode 5. What do we got on deck for tomorrow? Impact review. Should be interesting. We've been all WWE so far. Tomorrow we delve into total, non-stop action. See you, everybody.